coaches if they're doing drills and managing the bench during the games and wanting to get better results and better execution.
Well, my theory is you run drills that will help them, that they, if I run the drills today, that they can take into the game tomorrow. And I think there's too many drills that, again, are, they only last 3 or 4 seconds or 5, and there's only 2 or 3 kids involved while you've got 18 or 20 standing around. They don't spend enough time working on things. And then at least down here, when you get like to the high school level, I mean, they have, they're always getting ready for the next game. And and I noticed with the girls that after they play a game the next day they're tired, and they don't want to work very hard the next day. So you got to modify your practices. But I've always been trying to focus on 2 or 3 things, and once we get that, then move on. And moving to the inside, from the outside to the inside, the big 90, the Gretzky move, or something like that, is something I just think is, over time they'll do it, but you got to keep coming back to it in a practice scenario. And when you see it during games, you've got to recognize it. And the other one that we've been working on a lot, I have been for years, is moving the goalie. Get that goalie to move left and right, or right to left, and then shoot the puck. Because too often the kids just come in and just, that habit has to happen in practice, not save it for the game, right? Because what you do in practice, you're going to do in the game. So, anyways.
Hal, you talked about getting the goalie to move.
Yeah.
And Craig Barrett, who's sort of the lead mentor with Girls Hockey Calgary, I worked for him here. I used to mentor him years ago, and now he's running the program, and I'm looking after the U13s. And we've been working with U13 goalies.
Mm-hmm.
This year is the first year we've had 2 goalies on the team.
Nice.
And some of them look pretty shaky. And we've talked about taking them out of the game for a while and putting them back in to get their confidence. But they're fidgety in the nets. They aren't strong. They're playing dodgeball. They're nervous. And so I talked to Craig about that, and he gave me a line that's worth remembering. He said, "Yeah, they're on top of the ice. They're not into the ice."
Yeah.
So that's where I used to say, if I brought a goalie, gave him a shift off, and was going to talk to him, I want them to have a routine of making snow with their inside edges, getting into the ice,
Yeah.
and then go back and play goal and be ready.
Yeah.
Feel the ice so you can be strong in your stance and in your movements.
Yeah.
So the idea of getting the goalies to move is so true. Changing the shooting angle and the whole lives of the puck theory of,
Yeah.
and you're familiar with all that stuff. But this idea of goalies thinking about, don't be on top of the ice, be into the ice. And the idea of how important your edges are is huge.
I mean, we'll do shootout occasionally because the kids like to do it, but I tell them you got to cross the Royal Road at least once, but preferably twice on your way in, and you can't just take one step across it. And then I'll stand with the players that are watching. I go, watch the goalie. And the Wild last night in their shootout against what was it, Columbus, I guess. He moved that goalie pretty good. But the other guys come down and they just, they're trying to pick corners and snap it off,
Yeah.
and and they're not scoring. And I think he was the sixth shooter, and he won it for him. So it, again, what you do in practice, you're going to do in games. So if you want to teach these skills, you've got to find multiple ways to teach it and encourage it and help the kids that are watching. I'll do something. The player will go, and I'll say to the next player, "Did she move the goalie?" And she go, "No, she didn't." I said, "Why don't you go down and move the goalie?"
Yeah.
Yeah, they do it right, and we celebrate it. So it's all good. So
Hal, how would you rate the effort and focus of your practices, your players?